Ciao, welcome back. It's Cheech with Meals and Memories with No. So I'm down in Miami with my co-author Ashley. We're going out and doing some book signings and stuff, and I wanted to make a few recipes to you because if you remember, what we talk about in the book is that it's a lifestyle change. So, and sometimes we can't always get what you want. I'm from New York and getting ingredients is a lot easier, but Miami is a big city, but still, I had to go a little bit search. So I'm gonna make 3 simple recipes for you, stuff that can be stored and you can eat at any time that you want. So I'm gonna go over the broccoli with lemon and garlic. I'm gonna make the zucchini, marinated zucchini, and then I'm making escarole and beans. So everything will be made for you very simply. I'm just gonna go over cutting the zucchini for you, all right? So real quick. Then we're gonna do that. And the one thing is, like I said, Ashley is my co-author, and she's amazing. She's a great help for me with the book and getting everything out with the book. And for you guys that are watching, she's happily married, so please respect that, and not to me. So anyway, on to the zucchini. So what we want to do is just cut up the tip, and in this recipe, we're actually going to leave the skin on, because it helps the zucchini stay together when you fry it, and then it doesn't become mush. Now, as I talk about kitchen safety. Kitchen safety, so all I'm gonna do is just kind of strip off some of the one side so I can kind of get a flat surface so that the zucchini doesn't roll around on me. Right now, I'm working in a kitchen that's not mine. I'm not working with my pots and pans. I'm not working with my knives. I'm working with whatever is given to me here. And honestly, Ashley, who's a different Ashley, who runs this Airbnb, has an amazing stocked kitchen. Very easy, nice sharp knives, and I didn't even know it before I came because you never know what you're gonna find when you get an Airbnb. I've been in one where the knives are really dull. So all we wanna do is I'm gonna try and, there we go, I think that might work a little bit better. I'm gonna try and get it just a little bit thicker than a quarter. Right now, I know this might have to take some knife skills, but if you practice it a little bit, you'll get it, right? So all we want to do is just take them, slice them, right? And as you can see behind me, I've already done some, and I'm not looking up at the camera because I don't want to cut my fingers. Remember in the cookbook, it talks about that's what my eyes are for. My eyes are to make sure that I don't cut my fingers. They're not for me to taste the food. Our minds work in such different ways that if you see a picture of my finished product and then your finished product doesn't match that, in your mind it might tell you that it's not going to taste as good. But it's going to taste as good because when you cook from here. You cook from here. It's the most important part. So, like I was saying, when we cook from the heart. So what you see, or what it looks like, is important. But it's more important that you're cooking from here because you're really involved in what you're doing. That's the main thing, is that you're in it for your heart. Whoopsies. So, anyway, I'm gonna finish cutting this up real quick, right? Then I'm gonna put the other dish together real quick. It's a simple dish. All I did was steam some broccoli, right? If you don't have a steamer or a colander, then all you can do is just actually put it in the pot with just a little bit of water, and that will get you through it. So now I'm gonna put that in the sink. I'm gonna grab a bowl because I did a little prep work on where she has all of her stuff, right? And of course I asked permission to be able to use it. So I just have some steamed broccoli, and I have the stems. The stems are awesome. Another thing, another little secret that people forget about. So the stems might take a little bit longer to steam, so you can put them in the bottom of the steamer so that they get more heat than the top. But you might have to actually pull out the broccoli crowns and then do that. So now, all of this just goes into a bowl, right? And then all we're gonna do, I've got some nice olive oil that I got in the store. So we're just gonna add some chopped garlic, right? We're gonna add a nice pour of olive oil. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So that's like a 10-second pour. And as I said, I already peeked around, so I know where everything is. So now I'm just gonna add some salt. And like I said, I don't use measuring spoons, unfortunately. I'm very sorry. I know there's certain people are gonna be upset with that. But I don't use them, so honestly, I really don't know how to use them. It doesn't work for me. So it's just a sprinkle, and that's just regular table salt. There's nothing special about it. All right. So now we're gonna take that out. I'm just gonna, oh, there she goes. Just gonna grab a spoon, right? And then we're just gonna toss, right? We're gonna toss that a little bit. Right? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a lemon. Right? And then all we're gonna do is we're just gonna squeeze the juice. Now depending on how, if you like lemon, if you like a lot, I would go, that was 2 broccoli crowns. I would go with a half a lemon first, then taste it and see where you're at. Perfect. There you go. That's done. That's ready to be served. That's actually still warm, which is really, really good. You can serve it warm. You can serve it cold. Excuse me, my mouth is full. The longer you leave it sit, the more flavors it's going to take. The lemon's going to get stronger. The garlic is going to get stronger. And if you want, if you leave it for a day, you can actually, it'll start to, the acidity in the lemon will start to break down the broccoli. You'll be able to make it almost into, almost like a guacamole. And you can use it as a dip. See, another thing about Italian cooking is taking one thing and moving into the next thing and then moving it to the next thing. So, this is done. So I'm just going to set this over here for now. Right now in this pot, right, I've got my escarole, my onions, and my garlic. And it's all just steaming up right now. It's been steaming for a couple of minutes. So I'm just gonna kind of pick it up, mix it around. All I did was just wash the escarole, right? The garlic, it's all in there, good to go. And the garlic is whole, and the onion is just sliced. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a nice pour of olive oil. 7-second pour. Now, remember, so last night when I went shopping, when I came home, I gave you the recipe on how to make beans. So I made beans, right? The beans are done. They're nice and tender. So now I'm gonna add somewhere about a cup of beans into that. Great. So now, there you go. So now that's your escarole. So now that's done. You can let that cook a little bit longer. The beans can get a little bit more tender if you want. You can set it aside. You can just put the cover on it. Like basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the cover on it. It's up at a nice boil. I would let it boil a little bit more. And then I would just take it and put it on the side and let it finish cooking. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna set up the frying pan so we can fry these, and then I can show you how to layer them for the marinade, all right? I'll be back in a few. Don't go anywhere. All right, so I finished cutting up the zucchini. Now we're gonna fry the zucchini. I'm just gonna put it into this plate, and then we're gonna go from there. So in here I got my escarole going with the beans. You might have to add a little bit of water to that if you think so. If not, don't worry about it. So like I said, I'm frying in olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. All right, just gonna add a little bit of olive oil, and then all we're gonna do is we're just gonna take these, and we're gonna put these in. That's it. All right, now I'm cooking on electric here, and thank God I grew up with an electric stove. So because electric is different than gas. So trying to get these things to work the way that they should and not overdo it because the electric heat is hotter. All right, I remember I come home, my grandfather would have just picked the zucchini. If you look at the picture that's in the cookbook, he would have just picked the zucchini, you know, one that he's pushing it back. He would have had flowers and he would have had zucchini. So he was either making pizzettes, zucchini pizzettes, which I just had an amazing restaurant over in Coconut Grove called Like Mike. Great Italian food. The guy Mario, who's the general manager, and Caterina, who's the chef. Amazing. Really, really good food. Stop over, go say hello, visit. Tell them No sent you. They'll know. So now cooking on electric is a little bit different. So what I'm gonna do, but all I'm doing is this is what I'm doing, that's it. All we're gonna do is just gonna fry them until they're just a little bit starting to go golden brown. We're gonna flip them over and then I'm gonna take them, I'm gonna put them in here. Once I get them on there and I fry all these up, I'll come back and I'll show you how to lay them out and then we'll throw in the marinade and then you're good to go. Then you can either serve that warm, you can serve that cold, you can let it sit for a day and become even more powerful or more potent. Really all depends on what you want to do. So, chow, give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. Totally cooked. What I mean is like brown, dark brown. What we wanted is we just want it tender because we're going to lay it out this way it'll absorb the flavors from the oregano and the garlic that we're going to put in there. So like I was saying, this recipe is something I would see my grandfather making. You know, the zucchini were in the backyard, and then with the flowers, you know, during the harvest time, when the zucchini started growing, you'd see him either making pizzettes. Usually, as soon as the zucchinis started flowering, he started making pizzettes. And I'm down here in Miami, as I said, so I'm down in Coconut Grove, and I wander about a place called Like Mike, Italian Taste. Mario is the general manager and Caterina is the chef. So I start talking with them and the next thing you know, he's from the next town over, from my grandfather in Naples. But they have pizzettes on the menu. They have their version of it. And I have to say, it's unbelievable. The first thing we'd always get is the flowers and we'd all go over and he would make pizzettes first. And then anytime you went over after that, he would either be making pizzettes or he would be making these, or otherwise he would be making this. And then this would just sit in the refrigerator and get better and better and stronger and just like really amazing flavor. So, all I did, you see, is I got a layer of zucchini. I'm gonna add just a little bit of garlic to this. Now I'm down here and I was able to find fresh mint. So I picked up a plant of fresh mint, which I'm gonna leave for the Airbnb people because they're cooks, they're chefs, and they like it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take some of the peppermint and put it down. Remember, peppermint is different than spearmint. They're different flavors. Now the peppermint it grows wild in my grandfather's backyard. So he would just go outside and get the fresh peppermint. I remember growing up, when we had a bad taste in our mouth, he would just go out to the garden and then go pick some peppermint and say, here. And you just eat it like that, because it is just so natural and so refreshing. And like I said, our Escarole beans are in the back and they're cooking. And I will show you that in a few minutes. So, all I did is I put some garlic in there. Right? I put some peppermint. I'm gonna sprinkle with just a little bit of oregano. Oregano can be strong, so you gotta be careful. Right? And then just some regular white vinegar, or if you prefer, you can use red vinegar, whatever you feel like. You know, whatever your flavor. So then we're just gonna do a drizzle of that. And then we're just gonna layer it again. We're just gonna keep on layering and put these in. And there's no rhyme or reason, they're not meant to be organized, as I said to you before. You know, it's all about the smell. Now I'm getting the smell of the vinegar and the peppermint, Now, just talking about that, I can smell my Escarole beans. And I can tell that the flavors have really begun to melt. The garlic is nice and soft, the onions are there, the beans are nice and tender, and I can actually tell that all of those flavors are melding together. And that's really how I know it's done. When I'm sitting in the living room and I can smell my Escarole beans, I know it's done. It's not because I see it. So to me, that's a very important part of cooking, and let alone Italian cooking. So now I got another layer. So now I'm just gonna add a little bit of fresh garlic. Now if you wanna mince your garlic, you can mince it. I kind of leave it a little roughly chopped. All right? Just a little bit of oregano. And then just another little dose of vinegar. Now, because you're using vinegar, I would suggest, I was lucky enough that they have a nice metal container here. I would put this in glass, or I would put it in metal if you have it. Because when you leave it in plastic, vinegar is a little bit of a, has an acidic, so you don't want it to start getting into the plastic and bringing the flavors of the plastic into your food. All right, so to me, as you already know, I'm a big proponent of glass and or metal, and of course a kitchen metal. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this up. And oh, I said I would show you the Escarole beans, right? So, here we go. Oh man, that is just amazing. You can see the liquid is just, it's not soupy, but it's not extra thick. And now that will last in the refrigerator for a couple of days. The zucchini only get better in the refrigerator. The broccoli that we made earlier only gets better in the refrigerator. So you got 2-3 days, 4 days for each of these items. Now I'm on the difficult journey of finding good bread down in Florida. And for all of you Floridians, I think you know, trying to find good bread down here is a difficult. So the good bread we can figure out and have that journey together, but if you do know a place that has good bread in Florida, please put a link down below. This way the rest of the Floridians can find good bread, especially down in the Miami area. 2, our book, Meals and Memories with Nono, is now available in Books and Books in Coral Gables. So go check it out. Go have a coffee, go have a latte, and sit there and pick up a book or another cookbook. And so I'm gonna go ciao for now and bon appetito. See ya.